Everyone, welcome to the show. It is time for the biggest news of the day. Donald Trump, his three adult children, CFO Alan Weisselberg, controller Jeff McConney, and the Trump organization itself have all been named in a lawsuit brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James. Whoop, whoop. That's all I got to say. So here's the deal. Here's what's going on. The Attorney General alleges that Trump and his spawn committed massive fraud over a lengthy period of time. Attorney General James filed a 222-page complaint stating that Trump, Don Jr., Ivanka, and Eric, and the others inflated the value of their assets to obtain more favorable terms on loans and insurance and so forth. Then they would deflate the value of their assets in order to reduce their tax liability. And she gave some very stunning, blatant examples. James, for instance, said that Mar-a-Lago revenue is less than 25 million. So the estimated value of his property should be no more than 75 million. However, Trump valued the property at times as high as 739 million. Trump also used assets not belonging to him to fool banks into believing that he had more cash. So for instance, Trump owns a 30% stake in a company called Vornado. But when he applied for a loan, he claimed that all of the company's money belonged to him. So the Attorney General is asking the court to order the Trumps to pay $250 million in illegally obtained funds and to permanently prohibit each of them from serving as an executive on any New York company in the future. She's also asking the court to bar the Trump organization from purchasing or in any way acquiring commercial property in New York for a period of 5 years. And she asked that they be precluded from obtaining a loan from any financial institution registered in the state of New York for a period of 5 years as well. In addition to this civil lawsuit, the Attorney General said that she's referred the matter to the Justice Department's office in the Southern District of New York, also to the IRS, and this is for potential violations under federal law. She cited New York Executive Law 63, which makes it a crime to engage in repeated fraudulent or illegal acts or otherwise demonstrate persistent fraud or illegality in the carrying on, conducting, or transaction of business. New York Penal Law 175.10, which involves falsifying business records. New York Penal Law 175.45, which involves issuing a false financial statement, and New York Penal Law 176.05, which deals with insurance fraud. The Attorney General also mentioned a couple of potential federal crimes in the footnote. She cited 18 U.S.C. 1014, which encompasses false statements to financial institutions, and 18 U.S.C. 1344, which involves bank fraud. Trump's vile attorney, Alina Habba, called the lawsuit, quote, meritless. But remember, this is the case that Trump just recently tried to settle with the AG. And the AG was like, no thanks. And yes, I know, I get, because inevitably somebody's going to point this out. Yes, there are lawsuits that sometimes settle for reasons other than guilt. But since when does Trump try to quietly settle a lawsuit, even before he's been charged, even before there's like an actual lawsuit filed? He knew that they were working on this, but they hadn't actually filed the lawsuit yet. Or when does he try to settle a case before he tries to use stall tactics and dragging stuff out for years and years? He knows they have him. He knows they have him dead to rights. That's the thing about document cases like this. It's all in black and white. And this is why I love math so much, because numbers don't lie. People do, but numbers don't lie. And as several former U.S. attorneys have pointed out that I was reading, Trump and Eric pleaded the fifth hundreds of times when they were deposed in this investigation. Now, Don Jr. and Ivanka did not, but they did. In a civil case like this, they can and will use that against them because they're going to instruct the jury to assume that they didn't answer those questions because the answers would implicate them in crimes. And here's how this lawsuit relates to the classified documents retrieval at Mar-a-Lago. The Attorney General wrote that the DOJ filings pertaining to the Mar-a-Lago search state, quote, "The seized materials include correspondence related to taxes and accounting information." That's very odd because one of Trump's attorneys wrote to the Attorney General in New York, wrote to her office and claimed that this attorney, he or she, they didn't say who it was, quote, "diligently searched each and every room of respondents' private residence located at Mar-a-Lago, including all desks, drawers, nightstands, dressers, closets, etc. I was unable to locate any documents responsive to the subpoena that have not already been produced to the OAG by the Trump Organization." Sounds like Trump's attorney either lied about these tax documents or they were lied to by their client once again. I just wonder which attorney this was, who, again, they said these same exact things to the Department of Justice about the classified documents. Now we find out, basically they said the same exact words, almost identical words to the Attorney General in New York about these tax documents. Now, they don't say where these documents were found, where the DOJ found these tax documents. They may not have been in the bedroom, but if Trump knew that they were in the basement of Mar-a-Lago, he maybe should have mentioned that to his attorney. Otherwise, it looks like they were hiding documents once again. So yeah, MAGA, making attorneys get attorneys, as they say. And a side note too about Alina Habba and why I always call her vile, because she's the one who's been dealing with this issue in New York. And she is on the record, was accused by one of her employees of referring to the Attorney General in New York as a black B word. I will not call her that. I will not use that word. You guys know I cuss, but just despicable. And she, the attorney, Alina Habba, just recently, also very quietly, settled her own lawsuit about that, about making racist remarks in her office. So yeah, that's who Trump employs. That's why I call her vile. Anyway, guys, when I hear more, I'll let you know, but this is such great news. I mean, he's not going to land in jail for this because it's a civil lawsuit, but if federal charges are brought, federal criminal charges are brought, this is getting good. All right. Thanks, guys. I will talk with you soon. Take care.